Yo, what is going on, guys? It is midnight and we are bringing you another video again today. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the two new units on Global. I'm not going to say new units because this video is slightly delayed, but newer units. So, we have got two units to talk about in today's video. We've got Shoutir, Masked White Lady, and then Jabbardoff, which is the, Demiurge with the mask on. Both very unique-ish units in a way, something newer to the game in terms of what they bring to the tables. Not so much Shoutir, but Demiurge being a pretty strong debuffer. Shoutir being a healer, but with a bit more diverse kit than most healers. But that's what we're going to get into today's video. Now, sorry for the delay in this video. I have been set on a few courses at work. So I've had to do some studying at home for that stuff, so I haven't had a little bit of time to do the video, but here we are today. I am still on YouTube. I haven't left yet, I promise. Right, let's start with Shoutir. So Shoutir is a healer unit, a heart type unit as well, with pretty well balanced stats for a healer unit, especially this early on in the game. She's got pretty good speed, decent HP and defense. Attack is, pretty high for a healer. So overall, so far, looking pretty good, and not to mention that it is Shoutir in, her masked form, which looks really cool in my opinion. The damage type is pretty good as well. She's pretty resistant to a few things. One thing that is a letdown is the fact that she takes more damage to dark, and she is a heart unit, so intelligence units are going to do big boy damage. Now, the first skill is pretty meh. It's not really a good skill at all. It's 4 MP skill, shining damage with 16% elemental rate and 116% damage. Overall, pretty expensive skill. Well, MP cost for this skill, but I guess the fact that it's shining damage is a bit good because there's not many shining damage units in the game at the moment. But overall, I wouldn't say this is going to make her, that valuable. Like, it's not an amazing skill. Like, you don't really look at this too much on a healer. The next skill is a 5 MP AoE shining damage attack with a very low elemental rate. However, 5 MP damage skill on a healer, something unique, pretty cool, something different to have. Overall, is it a good 5 MP AoE skill? No. With her attack stat and, her attack percentage on that skill as well as the elemental rate, it's not amazing. But again, it's just something unique that a healers don't have at the moment in Global besides Nazarick Lupus when she comes out. So overall, not a bad skill, but it's definitely still below average. Even though it's 5 MP, that's the best thing about it. And the fact that it's an AoE skill that does shining damage. Granted, everything else is pretty lackluster in that. And then the healing skill is give party 10% HP regen for 3 turns for 4 MP. Very similar to Swimsuit Lup, which is the reason why when you see on the tier list, she's going to sit slightly higher. I'm not a fan of regeneration, units with healing. I prefer just flat out insta heal, big boy healing. You're back in the game straight away, rather than 10%, well 30% of your HP regen overall. In 3 turns, you'll get 30% of your HP back. It's I don't know what to say. it's okay, I guess. The fact that it's a party, makes up for a little bit. Passives, you got 5% physical defense, which is a really good passive for healers. You want to be as tanky as possible and fast as possible. And then you got 20% light elemental strength, which is okay, but she's a healer, so yeah, it's just kind of there. So she's a mix between she's got a diverse kit, I guess. Overdrive, deal shining damage to 1 enemy, quite high elemental rate and high damage. Granted, this is an overdrive, so this is at max stats, and not only that, but you're going to be using this once or twice a game, if you're using her at least. So overall, my opinions on Shoutir, besides from the fact that she's a unit that a lot of people want because it's Shoutir and she looks really cool in this form. I would not really worry too much about summoning for her. This is her art. I personally think she's not an amazing unit. I think she's got a cool kit, just not got enough of the stats, and the MP is too expensive for her to kind of follow through with that. One thing that most people would know about now is this unit on JP was a ranking event reward, meaning that you could only get this unit from ranking event. On global, you can only get her from this banner. I don't think she's on the regular pool banner. I think she's going to be an exclusive unit in a banner, but she's got no event, which is quite cool, but they should really have buffed her up a little bit compared to the JP version, considering the fact that this is not a free-to-play unit. You're actually summoning for her. On the ranking event, granted, it's not the most free-to-play friendly field of content, but you could still get her free-to-play if you've saved up enough and you've played her like pretty guaranteed in a way. Overall, not a bad unit. Would I summon for her? Only if you want the character, but she's not amazing. Now we'll go to Jabbardoff. Now Jabbardoff is again got very good typing, so he's an intelligence unit enhancer. He's got pretty high defense, pretty high HP, pretty decent attack considering he's a enhancer, and his speed is meh. It's not bad at the moment with the current state of the game, but it's not amazing. Resistances, again, very good. Same thing to Shoutier. Shining damage on Jabbardoff is the only really downside, just because light units are going to do pretty big damage to him, but there's not a major issue, I would say. Now starting off with his kit, he's got a debuff skill for 3 MP, which is AoE, and it lowers 25% attack, 15% defense, 35% speed to all enemies for 3 turns. For 3 MP, this skill is what makes him where he is on the tier list when you see it at the moment. It makes him such a great unit. Overall, this is probably one of the best, if not the best, debuffing skill in the game. It's one of the best on JP, and probably on global is the best debuffing skill that we have. So if you need a debuffer on your team, then this guy's going to be the best one for that job, because of how cheap his skill is and the fact that it's AoE and what it does is pretty good. The next one is a 2 MP skill, which will increase 1 hit to yourself plus 35% physical attack to self for 3 turns, 2 MP. Also get an extra 6% overdrive percent increase, which is making it a total of 12%. This skill is not too bad. I mean, it's only really good in combination with his 3rd skill, which we're going to get into in a moment. Other than that, it's not actually amazing. It's just a standard buff skill. It's not the best type of buff skill, especially considering he's only going to be debuffing most of the time. And the physical attack buff is pretty good. The fact that it's not just skill, you can use your basic attack and still get bonus from it. So, but the +1 hit is pretty meh in a way. It's not amazing at all. The next one is a 4 MP skill, which does 130% physical damage with a 45% chance to inflict paralysis to 1 enemy. Again, that's for 3 turns. Now, if you combine this with his buff skill, it will increase the chance of his paralysis actually going off. I think it will go up to like pretty much 50% if I'm correct, something like that. It'll be somewhere near 50%, if not 50. The skill is 4 MP. It's a bit too expensive for my liking personally, especially considering it's only 1 person you have a chance to paralysis. And Chaos Field and stuff like that, they're immune to it. So, it's not an amazing skill. This guy is literally the debuff. That is all he is, right? His next passives are 10% physical attack and 5% magical defense. The magical defense is really good. Obviously, you want your buff to stay alive. The physical attack is a good percent increase, but again, you're not really going to be attacking with this unit. And if you are, then yeah, that is a great skill, passive, sorry. But there's not really any skills that he does that does big damage, and his basic attack is just going to do basic attack damage. So just use this guy for what he's made for, debuffing. His overdrive is an AoE attack that does 76% 0.25 damage to all enemies and has a 65% chance to inflict sealing to 1 enemy for 3 turns. So this overdrive is not really good at all. It's basically slightly stronger damage than any other units AoE in the game. Not to mention it only inflicts sealing to 1 enemy, and it's not even guaranteed. It has a 65% chance. Obviously combine that with his buff, and you'll get a little bit of an increase on that percentage as well. Kind of like Masked Irons' skill, but it's not a chance for everyone. It's just the 1 enemy. So overdrive, not really that good. There his art if you wanted to have a look at that. But overall, Jabbardoff is a very good debuffing unit, and that is about all he is used for. Now, going into the tier list here, as you can see on the screen, you'll be able to see Jabbardoff is in the A tier. kind of next to Pandora's Actor, and Masked Shao tier is in the B tier, towards the bottom end of that, just above Lup in the C tier and below Megumin in the B tier. Now, overall, the reason for these two placements, Masked Shao tier is just a better version of Lup, better typing, better stats, better skills, better everything over in general. So she has to kind of go in a tier above in a way. Well, that's what we thought whilst making the tier list. Is she good enough to go up in that tier list? We would all say no. Like, personally, she's like a top tier C tier unit, but the fact that Lup is already in there, unless we move Lup down, which I don't think is really fair at the moment, you know, she kind of has to go in a B tier, personally, is what we all think, who made this tier list. Now, and the other one is Jabbardoff. Now, this is going to be quite, you know, if you guys want to leave a comment in the comments and, you know, give your thoughts on this, that'd be great as well, because we're still kind of debating what to do with Jabbardoff here. We have popped him in the A tier, kind of below Pandora's Actor. Obviously, I know Solution's in between, but it's kind of like Albedo, Solution, Pandora, and Jabbardoff. They're pretty much all on the same like percentage of score, if that makes sense. But with Jabbardoff and Pandora's Actor, they're both very similar. The only things that we could find is that Pandora's Actor is more versatile. You can use him in more content in the game. For example of this, you can use him in Chaos Field, you can use him in raids, because, you know, he can buff, debuff, and deal damage. However, Jabbardoff, you know, his debuff is a lot better. But his stats are also significantly better than Pandora's Actor. So we're still kind of 50-50 on this. I think we have majority of people in the Discord who make this tier list with me preferred Pandora's Actor. I could be wrong. There might be a few changed opinions. I haven't been in there since 2 days ago, so there could be a few changed opinions. But for the time being, this is how it looks. Leave your comments in the description in the comments, because in that way we can kind of see what other people think, and, you know, who knows, you might make a change to the tier list. One other thing as well is I saw a comment on the last video mentioning about the JP tier list, asking why Frog, Demi, Saint Clem, and who is it, Pandora was so high up on the list, as well as Irons and some other few people. For those of you who don't know, on the JP, they have got units that have buffs. So, for example, for those of you who don't know, Nazarick Demiurge, the one that's in, where is it now, B tier, he had a buff. Well, the main buff is his AoE is 7 MP still, but it does 140% damage. Now, to put that in perspective, what your single target damage skills do, the 3 MP and the 4 MP ones, he's doing that AoE for 7 MP. Not to mention his single target MP is now 2 MP. He's just a very good unit now on JP. Pandora's Actor got a massive buff to his stats, and especially his speed. He's like the fastest unit in the game, I think, besides one of the collab units that just come out. So yeah, let's not talk too much more about the JP tier list, but myself and a few other people make that tier list from the Discord. However, more of the Discord make the global one with me, because more people play the global side of things. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry about the delay in the video. I have ordered a new gaming PC, which should be coming pretty soon. So I'll be able to probably start live streaming soon if you guys wanted to see that. On Mass for the Dead, I can answer your questions live, and we can just hang out. I'll be playing other games as well probably, but join the Discord in the description below. And yeah, make sure you subscribe if you want to see more Mass for the Dead content. Hopefully you enjoyed. Take care and peace out.